You have no idea how much that is so needed. That was my first drink in like 5 hours. Obviously, I've had to dehydrate myself. But anyway, guys, welcome back to a new video. I probably look dirty. We'll find out why in this video. So I think you've noticed me saying in videos, obviously I've been on a cut and mainly just preparing. Like I said in my video before, some people might find it cringe. Some people might find it a bit excessive to like put yourself in tan, when especially when you're not even doing a show. Which to be fair, I get to an extent, but if I love something, I go at it 100%. I'm very obsessive with things if I love it. Like if I'm really into something, I go at 100 miles an hour and I want to be an expert on it. But no, nevertheless, as I will show you up on the screen, we started this at, I think in the video itself I said 68, but I know I weighed myself a couple of days before and I was like 70, so that might have literally just been like, I've had a shit, I've had some, I've pissed a load of water out, or I was a bit dehydrated, whatever. So realistically, we started this at 70 kilos, and in this video, I will say things like, I know there's a lot I need to do to learn. Like there's a lot to learn. And that's fine. It's a whole part of the experience. That's literally why, no one's going to be perfect when they, do something straight off the bat. So in this video, you can see that it's a bulk. I'm on a bulk. It's very obvious, and the goal was to start a cut, because originally I never before had to cut in my life. I had no reason to. If I would have cut, I would have just looked extremely skinny. I would have lost a lot of the muscle mass. Obviously not that much, but of what I had, I would have lost a lot of my muscle. And so it would have been a really stupid idea to even do that. But I kept on bulking. Realistically, I was bulking from like the age of fucking 14. The minute I started training, I basically started bulking. And for a good fucking 3-4 years of me first like doing weight training / bodybuilding training, I want to preface that I'm not into fitness. I'm not some fucking high rocks geezer. I don't play tennis on the fucking weekend. Don't care about football. I like bodybuilding, and that's completely different to fitness, because to an extent it is healthy. At the same time, it's not healthy because you're putting your body through extreme stress, and I'm well aware of that. The people around me know that. My mum says all the time when I'm posing and I'm training, she's like, that looks painful. Yeah, it's supposed to be. Like, we're not out here doing a little bike ride, trying to burn some fat. Like, you wouldn't catch me in one of those fucking lessons, But nevertheless, sorry, I'm going on a fucking tangent, as I always do. So yeah, we started to cut, just because I finally put some weight on, and I thought, it'd be a good idea to, let's trim down. We've finally lost the abs, thank God, because I was like, everyone was always like, oh man, you're so shredded, and I'm not that's not cool. I'm not trying to be shredded. I want to get big. I do want to get big, and finally it happened. And this is where straight away I want to say I made this. This was my first mistake, and I didn't realize this until quite close to where we are now. Was with bodybuilders, they do everything in like cycles. So it's like let's say they've just finished a show, they've been cutting. They'll maintain for a few months, like I want to say like 3-4 months, and then they'll bulk. Let's say they're this whole year they're prepping for a show, then they'll bulk in the off season, and that really is like 4 or 5 months, and then, bro, they're like cutting down from 5 to 4 months in, and I thought, oh yeah, 3 months will be sound. That was my first thing, and one of the things that I do need to learn is I'm good with my nutrition. Like if I am in a deficit, I'll do a deficit. However, I went straight from, realistically, I don't know what, at the time I didn't know what my maintenance would be. And what you do when you want to cut is you basically take 300 to 500 off your maintenance at a normal cut to slowly have progression. Because what I did really wrong was I straight away went from whatever I was eating, so a lot of food, straight away to 1,500 calories a day, and I've done that for 3 months. Obviously, this last week, the last 3 days of it, essentially, you don't really track your calories, like, you don't really care because you're tracking your macros, you're tracking your protein, you're tracking your fats and your carbohydrates, because the last 3 days of, let's say, prepping for a show, you do just carb up. So obviously those are the only days I didn't stick to like the 1,500 because we're trying to fill the muscles, we're trying to, you know, fill ourselves back up with the glycogen and everything, if that's the actual term. See, like even now, there's a lot I need to learn, but that's the whole fun of it. Yeah, forgot what I was saying, but essentially, yeah, we did it for 3 months, which wasn't great. And I do need to learn more about kind of still tracking my calories, but more being concerned about my macros, so protein, fats, and carbs. Because for the first few starts of the cut, I was sticking to my calories, but I was like having like 200, 300 grams of carbs a day, and like I need to know what my level will be, because you can track these things. Like if you go to like, I think it's called DTDE something calculator, and you can find out like when you're cutting, you can figure out for your body fat, your height, and your weight and your age, you can figure out what, like, okay, you're on a cut, it will show you the calories and it will show you your macros. So little things like that I need to learn. But anyway, vice versa. So yeah, we've been cutting for the last 3 months, and before I show you this full on, you know, physique reveal, I want to preface any professional bodybuilders watching this, fuck off, right? I don't need, like, oh, he would never be ready for a show, he wouldn't be sure. I'm aware, I know that I should have cut a good few months before, either 5 or 4 months. If I had that one extra bit, I reckon either, personally, 5 months. I reckon, like this, like for example, going into next year, I will be, like before, I will be competing next year, but I'll get into that. Before that, I will be cutting for 5 months, and I will do it smart, like, you know, not going straight from my maintenance or bulk to 1,500, because that's like, yeah, it's a deficit, but it's like you'll hit a plateau, like you will hit a wall, you won't really see the progression. But if it's like, let's say I'm bulking, I'm on 4,000 calories or something, let's just hypothetical, I'm on 4,000 calories, and then I want to cut down, then I need to be cutting down like 300, and then a couple months, and then 500, and then slowly decrease it. So then it's like I'm seeing progress. Going straight to 1,500, like, it is stupid. Like, it's like unnecessary suffering. But like I said, if any fucking professional bodybuilder or anyone that thinks they know, like, I will just say, like, I will appreciate like some points, like especially for posing and things like that. I absolutely will take those type of tips and things like that, but I don't want to be hearing, yeah, he's still got quite high body fat and things like that, because that's what I want to preface. I know, like, there's some things that I do need to learn, things I need to get better at, and, you know, if I really want to be fucking show ready, then, yeah, I'm aware of the things that I need to, you know, dial in. But guys, I'm going to show you the footage now of what we just did at the gym. Like, literally, I've been home for 20 minutes. It's currently 12:15. And I'm literally making, because I want to make the video straight away. I've got a lot on my mind, and it's like there's no point me making it tomorrow because I'm busy for another video. Stay tuned, lol. And then, you know, I want it fresh on my mind as things I need to say. So enjoy this segment. So there you have it, guys. That was the reveal. Um, and yeah, especially when it comes to posing, I need to smile. You know, when you're on stage, you're putting on a show. It's entertainment. You know, for some people, and you know, you've got to smile, put on a show, show some enthusiasm. Number two, I need to focus consistently on tensing the legs with the poses. This was way better than before. Like if you've seen my TikTok or if you've seen my Instagram, this was miles better ahead. Miles better ahead. This was way better than some of the previous, like, me practicing posing. But there was times where I started tensing them. I'm in the pose, and then you could see it slipping out. And I don't know if that was due to the fact that I'm just tired. I've never posed like these last like I've been posing like for like 20 minutes. I should doing it longer, but I've been posing for like 20 minutes. Posing, sorry, every like 20 minutes after a workout, after cardio, just trying to get my conditioning, and also just being better. Because like I say this all the time, if you can't pose, you will look like shit. Like for example, if Ronnie Coleman couldn't pose, I doubt he would have this many Olympias. Do you know what I mean? Like posing is very important. Um, it's like any sport, like football. If you're fast and athletic, well, if you can't kick a ball, and you're shit. Do you know what I mean? Um, And yeah, so obviously there's some things that I know I need to get better at, especially with that. But it was fun, and you know what? Surprisingly, I actually quite enjoyed being in the tan. Because I was really worried. I was literally like every day, like looking at my midsection, and I was like, oh my god, it's just flat. Like I can't see like I can see definition at angles, but straight on I'm like I can't see. But then like with the tan, like I'll put some photos up now and like even a comparison like with this, at least I can see somewhat. I mean the tan is literally fading, but at least with that I can see. I mean the light is like not helping, but you know, you see what I'm saying. Um like it's just I was proper stressed. I was like, "What's going on, man? Like, I'm doing everything that I think I'm doing right. Like, what is going on with his stomach?" But the tan, obviously, I'm so white. Like, I'm literally like a vampire. Like, I either burn in the sun or I just am not in it, bro. And I'm not like it's rare. Like, if I'm out and about, I might wear a vest and stuff. But I'm very much like I just wear t-shirts. The stomach's never really out unless it's like scorching hot. It's like mad hot, but I'm not that guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to let everybody know that I go gym. Just wear some nice clothes. Anyway, so that's that. But this next part that I want to speak about is what I want to do for next year. And I've got some things in my. Sorry, real quick. In that posing video, I did make some mistakes, as in, like, I didn't know where to put. Because the problem is, I love Foundry. Foundry Gym, like Kidderminster, Foundry Gym is insane, but it's the worst posing room ever. They think because they've added black walls, it's now created some sort of, contrast. But the lights are too white. They need to be yellowed down. They need to be dimmed or something. Like, oh, there was a long time ago. It used to be my old profile picture. I went with Alex. Um, you've seen him on the channel before. He was in the Ice Nine Kills video. And like it was beautifully dim. Like I weren't even in tan. You could see shadows on my body, and it was beautiful. It's too bright. Like even in that video, only sometimes it even looked like I was on a tan, like wearing a tan. And like I'm really dark right now. Do you know what I mean? Like look at the comparison. Like I'm dark, and yeah, I kept on switching it up, but eventually, like I just used both. Like you'd see in the video anyway. I've used both things. But anyway, 2027. I want to compete. Obviously, I've got to pick a show that's. I want to pick a show that's local because the one I was thinking about was in, I think it was Luton, and it's not. It's not the distance that bothers me. It's just more. I want to be. This is rare me saying this, but I want to be a bit comfortable, like somewhere close to home, and Birmingham or something like that would be beautiful. I've got family there. I'm originally from there, and it would just be like more easy, like especially to get to, because there's a high chance I'll have no one to go with. Because realistically, like the only person I care about coming is my mom. I know, whatever, call me a fucking mommy's boy. I ain't got a dad, so fuck you. I would love my mom to come, but obviously it depends at the time of the year whether she'll be able to get off work because she's a teacher. So you know, so it'd be a bit difficult. But I'm hoping either September or June. So if it is September, I'll start my cut. Like if I was do it at September, my cut would start around April. If I have it in June, my cut will start like any June and July. It either be like February, you know, February, April, around those times, and maximum, I guess, January. But I'd like to do something in September, probably, just so I can have that bulk from like at least like. Wait, am I being a retard? But yeah, I can't lie. I lost my train of thought. I'm so tired. But yeah, I really want to compete next year, and I think I'm gonna maintain from now. I mean, I can't lie, guys. I'll say it now. Do not do this. I've seen so many clips online saying do not. There's a thing called rebound, and you don't want to rebound bad. If you're cutting, you want to slowly increase your calories back to your maintenance level. So let's say you're on 2,000 calories and your maintenance is 3,000. Let's say you're a big guy. Um, you want to be slowly increasing your calories like 200 or something like that week by week, and then you'll keep some sort of physique. But if like you've just done a cut and now you're stuffing your face like for a week, 2 weeks straight, you're gonna do something bad. But realistically, I'm gonna be eating like shit for a week anyway because I'm at download and whatever. But I thought of a fun video idea because I've always wanted to do it, and it will help me out. And I'm not too worried because at the end of the day, the one thing I know I need to do, I need to put on size. I think for someone my height wanting to do classic physique, I think I need to be like between 165 pounds to 177. So I think, basically, I think it's like 68 kilograms to 80 is like the max. And like if my cut weight, like right now I'm 65, and I just feel like I do need to be a bit bigger. I need some, bit more denseness. But I also know muscle maturity is very a thing. At the end of the day, like I've said to people before, I will eventually do steroids. I don't know if steroids is what's it called, a demonetization word, but enhancing sport enhancement drugs, I will. But the thing is, though, people need to realize that sport enhancements, you have to have it first. You'll see people that are absolutely scrawny or kind of whatever, like big dudes, but not. I'm not talking muscular, just like kind of whatever. And they'll do drugs. They either die or they get really bad side effects. And at the end of the day, you have, in my opinion, like when it comes to like, moderation, you have no reason for your first, unless you're an expert and you know what you're doing, and you're taking 500 this milligram this blah 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 blah. Like fair enough if you're experienced, but for your first cycle, you'll see people like smacking like 500 tests, 500 this, 500 that. I don't know many steroids, so I'm just saying testers, like, because I know it's, you know, it's a, you're putting something that's a natural thing, but times two, do you know what I mean? You're putting something you've already got. And they either die or they get really bad side effects like disgusting acne, they're coughing, they're struggling to breathe, things like that. And I know I will do this, but however, I will do this as I get way older. I'm thinking about doing steroids when I'm like 26, up to like 26 max, like minimum, but like max, like I'll happily like do steroids when I'm like 28, 29. I want to compete. I want to do it, and yeah. Let's go 2027. It's going to be a very interesting year. I'm going to be very, very locked in, and sacrifices will be made. For the last bit of the video, I want to touch on something that's like, I'm not saying you guys are wondering why, like I'm some celebrity, like, Luke, why are you doing this? Obviously not. But to some people that I'm close with, and just if my audience that I have, are like, what got you into this? Well, I was always extremely skinny at school, like so bad. Like I weren't even like a hungry boy as a kid. I never really had an appetite. I think the diabetes didn't help because I was always put off by food because it was like if I eat, I've got to inject, and I've got to test my blood sugars. So like I think I pretty much like just not hated food, but I knew like food was kind of like a punishment. Every time you ate, every time you did this, you gotta have a needle. And when I was younger, I mean, I clearly don't really care about needles now, but I hated it. But there was a weird point in my life. Like I always loved football. I always thought like football. Like I think we all did. To be fair, every fucking 14, 13-year-old at high school was like, "No, I'm going to be a professional footballer," and things like that. We all did. But I was into football. I was fairly good at fitness. I wasn't a muscly kid, but I rid my bike to school every single day. I mean, I had a hand-me-down shitty bike that only had gear 5, and if you know where I'm from, riding up Station Hill every single day to school weren't fun. It's like the biggest hill known to man, and you got a mountain bike that literally goes 3 miles per hour, and it's like you're dragging fucking bricks at the back of your tire. Not fun. So I had really decent legs, but I didn't know until I started training. I was like, oh shit, my quads are kind of mad. So there came a point, and I can't remember when. I think I was like 14 at high school, and I started going to the fitness suite for some reason. I think it was like we could start going when we went to upper site. So this is like year 9, I want to say. I can't remember what age I was. And I said to my dad at the time, "Oh, I want to start like gymming." And the minute I said that, my dad was like over the moon. He was like, "Oh, sick, da da da." And then from that moment on, like dumbbells were coming in. My dad was like, "You do your sit ups and your push ups every single day." Like I had a cardio bike in my house, and I think from that moment on, he was like, he kind of, without me knowing, was like, "You're basically doing bodybuilding. You're doing it." And at first, I just thought, "Oh, cool, blah blah blah, blah." And I started training, started liking it, and this is one of those things where at the time it felt like a curse, but now it's a blessing. It's such a blessing now. Like I remember literally like chilling at home. Like this is when I used to go to like a leisure centre gym. So I think I was around like 15, 16 at this age. Finally had a gym, and I'd be chilling at home, watching my phone, playing my Xbox, because I was such a little gamer back then. Like now, you'll rarely see me play a game. They don't interest me. I'll slap on a film, chill, relax, but whatever. I need to stop going on tangents. I can't help it. I'm basically made for podcasts. Um, I'd be chilling, and he'd come up to me, and he'd go like, "What you doing?" So I was chilling, Dad. I was chilling. So you got gym today, and I'd be like, "Yeah, well, I can't be bothered." And he'd be like, "Oh, give me your phone. You grounded?" And I'm like, what? So it was kind of forced upon me to an extent. Like it was like, when you get into it was kind of like the honeymoon phase. It was like like when a relationship at first it's like lovey dovey and then it gets like serious. At first, like, oh, gym's sick, man. I'm like, I'm seeing really tiny muscles and I'm like, yeah, sick, man. And then it went from that to, oh, I've got to go gym, man. And then my dad was like, not forcing me, but being like, eat this, eat this, eat this. Like, I was in year 10, and I'd wake up in the morning and have literally like a bowl of porridge, 2 fried eggs, 2 pieces of toast, a protein shake. I'd go to school. I'd have a peanut butter sandwich on my break. Lunchtime, I'd have my free school meals. I am that kid. So like a chicken burger or pizza while literally having a bowl of pasta and tuna. Then I'd go home and then literally eat dinner, go to my gym, come home, do my cardio on the bike, and then have like, I don't know, like some pasta again or some oatmeal, and then like have a protein shake again. And my dad was like, "No, you need to eat. You need to eat. You need to eat." So, and I can't lie, I'm not shocked, but this video, like, I can't lie, I came home and I said to my mom, like, well, I don't know if it's when I came home or if it was earlier. It's like, I'm glad I'm back into it because I've had some serious setbacks. Like, it's a weird one with my dad. Like I don't speak about it on this channel, and I don't really speak about it at all. I'm not morbid, but I know that life is life. Shit happens. If you're gonna go around crying about it, like you're actually not gonna sort anything. Life is shit. Like things do get thrown at you, but if you're just gonna sit around and give yourself excuses all the time, when are you gonna succeed? When are you gonna grow? And also, you're just gonna be a fucking annoying bastard around everybody. Yeah, we get it. Where? Your dad died. Move on. Do you know what I mean? Like, shit's gonna happen. Like, no one lives forever. Do you know what I mean? But like, I have had some serious setbacks, and I said to my mum, I'm not shocked, but it's mad that I'm still doing this, because I already had a mad setback in COVID. Like, yes, I was a cringy kid, fucking emo, and I had a really bad breakup, right? And like, bro, COVID didn't train a single thing until colleges started going back open, and I started getting back in the gym, blah blah blah. And then my dad passed in 2022, and back then, like, I joined Mackey's, my first job. I was still in college, not when he died, but that's before that. And I was training. Like, I remember, like, Will can back me on this. I remember at the time Mackey's weren't so strict, and I remember someone was in the toilets, and I needed to get changed, and I just had my top off, and this was like a good like this was like a good interaction with Will at the time. Like, we weren't close, but we were like, we spoke to each other at work. And he was like, "What the fuck, bro? I didn't know you looked like that." Blah blah blah. Blah. And to me, obviously, I'm not saying like in a humble way, but for me, because in bodybuilding, you don't look at yourself like, "Damn, I'm looking sick." You're constantly critiquing yourself, because at the end of the day, around normal people, like, I'm not saying I'm amazing, but I know around like ordinary people that don't go to the gym, I probably do look incredible. But I know against other bodybuilders, when I do compete, I'm going to be shitting myself like, damn, he looks good. Oh yeah, he's got better this, he's got better that. You have to constantly critique yourself, because if you're in a state of like, oh yeah, no, I'm sound, I've got nothing to worry about. A lot of the times you're not. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, my dad died in 2022, and I can't lie. Like, I don't care about saying this on YouTube. I don't want to have some bullshit filter. Oh, you guys are my audience. Eventually, like, I want to create a sick community, and you know, I want to do well. And if I'm gonna have good people around me that actually pick me for saying what I want and saying how I feel, then you lot are the real G's. You know what I'm saying? I went off the rails. Like, I was a guy that never really did bad stuff. Like, I thought, nah, I don't drink. Like, the first time I ever got drunk was my dad's funeral, and I was 18. When most kids out here these days, they're 15 getting drunk in a field. Nah, that weren't me, man. I was a good lad. And then I started doing other stuff, and you can imagine other substances. And bro, I weren't good. I weren't good. I weren't training like consistently. Like, I'll go gym like whatever, and it was more like, yeah, go to the gym because I know I got to. But it wasn't like I'm at the gym and I'm proper training hard, eating whatever I'm supposed to eat, and whatever like phase I'm in, cut, maintenance, bulking. Like, I was eating whatever. I was on a what diet. And I mean, it wasn't for long. Like, I think maximum like a year and a half. But from someone that was like, when you've got trauma and then you mix things that make you happy, it's not gonna make you happy once you stop doing it. Do you know what I mean? And I did do some dumb stuff. Like, I remember one night where I generally thought this was it. I generally thought this was it. I did too much of something, and I was like sick. Give my mum the old famous note, and I was out of the house, and I thought, yeah, this is the night. In a bit, adios. Obviously, I'm not. I'm talking to you lot. Um, and I've stopped, and I haven't touched anything for, I think, leave it 3 years. And again, another step back. Relationships. Every time I get into a relationship, I put them first, which is a good thing to an extent. I put them first, but I know I always lack. Like, I put them first because that's how I feel like love is. And I'm very much like, oh, but I know I'll be happy making you happy. And I put my dreams to the absolute fucking back burner, and I do it all the time. I know if I didn't do certain things and I just stuck to myself, bro, fuck me, this video would probably been done ages ago, and I probably would be competing by now. Do you know what I mean? And I did it all the time. I just put people first and worry about me later when I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. I've actually got dreams. There is things I want to do. So no, this last year and a bit, I've been full bodybuilding, trying to get back into it, because obviously I've definitely like lost gains and stuff. Like, when I see photos of myself from ages ago, I'm like, fucking hell, that was me, you know. So it's one of them. But the reason I love this sport, and at first, like I said, I started this sentence with, my dad kind of forced me, and I can't, like, he's like a reason I do it. Like, I do love it, so he's not the only reason. But I know right now, if he was around and I'm doing all this and I'm training, and how I obviously look compared to how I used to, like skinny, scrawny kid. Um, I'll show some photos of me literally at leisure centre gym, tiny, kind of tiny definition. I think that was like year 10, 11. I had really long hair. So yeah, it's quite embarrassing. Um, I know he'd be fucking gassed right now. And honestly, shout out to my mom. She's generally like my biggest supporter. Like, we're not well off. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can fucking see my walls are peeling, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not well off. And whenever she can, she helps me with the food. If I know I need something, it's like, I'm kind of shit with money. Because that's the thing. If I can get it, I'll get it. Obviously, I know, at the moment, I've been saving up for download, paying for download. That's been quite expensive. Then I've got to get all the kit for download and things like that. And then spending money. Like, my mom's really helped me out these last few months. And yeah, call it cringe, call me a mommy's boy, but you know what? Like, she's the only person I know legit rooting for me. Because there is a select few people that I know that, I can't lie, like, take the piss. And it's like, at the end of the day, I would never take the piss out of anybody that has got a fucking dream, whether how far-fetched or silly they think it is. I know a lot of people look at bodybuilding and go, it's guys and fucking, a pair of thongs all oiled up, like, being like, look at me. Yeah, fair enough. But I can understand that opinion when that's opinion about something that no one does. Like, let's say it's just a discussion, but none of your mates do it. But like, if you know your mate fucking lives and breathes this shit, and he's genuinely serious about it, like, yo, I want to do this and I love it so much. I think this is a beautiful sport. Bro, when I see those guys on stage and they're making all their transitions and they're like flowing their body, bro, to me, that looks fucking sick. It's the same way where women look at ballerinas or like really dramatical dances and stuff. To me, personally, like, they're just running around like spinning and shit. To me, I don't look at that and think, oh, wow. But I also can understand it from someone else's perspective. If they were competing in that and they're like, like starstruck and like, oh my god, that's so cool, I want to do that. I get it. But genuinely, for like, I'm gonna leave it at there because this is a very long video and I'm fucking tired. If you've got a fucking dream, you've got a passion, you've got something you love, do it before it's too late. Because you know what? There's one thing that I don't fucking want. I don't want to be in my 40s, yeah, looking back at my life, being like, I never did what I wanted to do. Like, people act like the world is obviously it is a scary place, but people act like, oh my god, no, I can't do that. Or like, oh, what about if people think this? Or what if people think I look stupid doing it? Or what if I can't? How do you know if you've not fucking tried? Like, how do you know? You failed before you've started because you've already gone, nah, I can't do it, or people say this, people say that. I said this in an Instagram post not long ago. If you can generally block out all the shit people say, you become intouchable. And I don't mean block out by saying, like, oh, ignoring it. Like, generally just facing it and being like, lol. Like, half of the people that chat shit anyway, like online, bro, they're bored. And half of them would not say it to your face. Half the people that are on what they call it, like keyboard warriors, half the people that say shit online, literally in real life, would be quivering. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even get it anyway. Like, if I'm on posts, the only time I ever comment on something is if someone's generally chatting pure shit or thinks they're like, if they're like, like douchebaggy, then I'll comment maybe. But bro, it's so rare that I comment on TikToks and Instagram reels or things like that. The only things I do comment on is like positive shit on YouTube videos, like, oh, that was jokes or that made me laugh, blah blah blah. Because unless it's constructive, like saying, oh, by the way, I don't think that's a good idea, or maybe try this. I don't mind constructive criticism, but pure just negative, yeah, you're shit, lol, L plus ratioed, boom, like all this shit, it's just like, you're sad. We all should be laughing at you, not what I'm doing or what you're doing. Whatever passion you have, whatever love you have, like, it could be literally anything. If you love it, do it. Because you never know, you could become successful, or you know what, you just might be good at it. You might have like it might just be a little hobby. You come home from work, and that's your little thing, and that's your getaway. Because I get it, not everyone's because I'm not like I don't force gym upon anybody, because you know what, it isn't as glamorous as people think. People look at the body and think, oh my god, wow, but it is a lot of effort. Like I work 8-hour shifts. I have people to see. I have things to do. Like I have even YouTube, but it's when people say they can't make time, then it means you don't want it. If you're jamming like, oh no, I don't have enough time in the day. No, you don't want it enough then. Because trust me, I don't have enough time in the fucking day. I get up at 11, I get up at like 10, I go to work, I finish at 7, I come home, I eat, I prep my food for the next day, I go to the gym, I do my cardio, come back, get showered, ready for the next shift, and by the time I come home, it's like fucking nearly 1 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I can make that time, whether I get a little couple of hours less sleep, that's success to me. But I'm going on another tangent, but guys, as I said, if you've got something you love, just fucking do it. But that's been your boy Motion Peakers, and I will see you with another banger. Peace.